तू चलता चल तू चलता चल तू चलता चल.
Okay, so good morning everyone. Today we have with us Anmol Rathi. So Anmol is recommended in his first attempt itself from 3 AFSB Gandhinagar. Anmol, please tell us what motivated you to join the defense services?
Ma'am, definitely defense forces gives an opportunity to live a life less ordinary. Definitely the challenges which defense forces through is something which you cannot see in your daily life. And the life that defense personnel live, it is definitely, I would say, a very vibrant life because their experience is much more different than I would say, a normal person or a civilian. So these things attracts me because it provides a lot of opportunity to know about yourself more. Because whenever challenges are thrown upon you, you will definitely try to encounter them, and you will get to know about yourself more.
And for that, what kind of preparation did you do? Because this was your first attempt and there was no prior experience.
Ma'am, I definitely wanted to join defense forces. For that, I have given NDA exams and serious exams, but I was not able to clear it. This was my second AFCAT exams, and for this preparation for written part of this examination, because I was preparing for SSC exams as well. So reasoning and maths is not a very big issue for me, as well as English is not a very big issue for me. The thing that was I was lacking in GS, so there is a YouTube channel which is called as CDS Journey. Is very good at his teaching. So I took help from his YouTube channel so that I can get some current affairs, or I can get some knowledge about the defense information. So I follow his channel, and with that I was able to clear this time.
Okay. And when did you join NFA, Frills Academy?
Ma'am, I joined NFA in the last week of April this year. So I had only 1 month for preparation, and within that 1 month only, I tried to be consistent, and I tried to be more participative so that I get to know about things more, I would say, more clear, or I would say I get to know about these things much efficiently.
Okay, okay. So, please tell us about this recommendation experience one by one, if you can share with us and recollect your experience. Starting with screening process, then psychology,
Okay, ma'am.
GQ interview. Yes.
Okay, ma'am. So we were told to report on 22 of May at 3 AFSB Gandhinagar. So after documentation, we were divided into three groups as always: fresher, repeater, and screen out. So at that time, my chest number was 37. Then we were taken into testing area, in which we were given two sets of an OER test, and for each test, we were given 17 minutes to complete the test. So in the first OER test, I was able to do 34 questions, but in the second OER test, I was able to do all the questions. So because the first OER test gave me some, I would say, some glimpse or some information about the kind of test which will be taking place. So I became much adaptable to the test, and I was able to do all the questions in the second OER test. Then after a few minutes, we were shown a very hazy picture for PPDT, in which I could see four male characters, and in those four male characters, the age of three male character was 22 to 25, and the one male character was 35 to 40 years of age. And the scene which I see in that picture was that it was a kind of some shop in the market, and it was a kind of some mechanic shop, because I could see some motors or some mechanical things is taking place in that shop. So I wrote a story on that perception that my main character is a very renowned mechanic in that in a market, and because of which he was getting a lot of orders. So he has to to deliver all those orders, or to repair all those motors or machines. He was working overnight, and for that it was also impacting his health. So what it did, that he also hired three skilled mechanics, and with that he was able to accept all the orders, and it was he was able to deliver all the orders at the given time frame, or at the given time which was required to deliver. And then after with that he was also able to earn good money. So after that after everyone wrote the story, then we were divided into groups. Each group consists of 10 to 12 members, and then we were taken into GTO complex for individual narration and group discussion. So I was the first one to narrate individual narration, and my narration was, I would say, fluent. It was crisp as well as comprehensive. I was able to complete my narration without any fumbling or without any filler words within 45 to 50 seconds. And after that, all the assessors told us to start group discussion. So within 1 to 2 minutes, we were divided into two groups. So in my group, I was able to deliver, or I was able to pitch forward 3 to 4 points, and which was quite, I would say, practical and related to the picture as well. So we decided the theme that these all people are doing some BTech from mechanical branch, and they have organized some workshop, and they are working on some project. So this was our theme. In the second group, they discussed their theme, but their theme was also somehow relatable. Then after 2 minutes were given to us to discuss the story within ourselves, and to narrate the common story. And we discussed that we will choose this theme only. So at the time of nominating one person, so I nominated one person, but unfortunately he nominated other person from other group. So what he did, that he just copy pasted his own story, and which was, I would say, very different from whole group story, but he also got screened in. So 170 candidates reported, and 62 got screened in. Then on the same day, in the evening, we were taken into testing area for psychology test. So there we were, the psychologist, she was very, I would say, very humble. She was very kind. She was trying to make the environment around us more comfortable, so that we can perform better. So she briefed us on every part of the test before the test. So the first test was TET, in which we were shown picture, and I was able to write down the story about around those pictures within 6 to 7 lines. And I would say few pictures were quite good, and few were moderate. The few stories were quite good, and few were moderate. And for a blank story, I wrote down the blank story, which was confirmed by Nehru sir. Then we were we were given wet test. In that wet test, I was able to complete 57 wets. And in SRT, I was able to complete 34 SRT without leaving any SRT in between. And I was little, I would say, at that time I was little disturbed or underconfident that I had not performed well in SRT. Then after we were told to write down our self description. So what she did, that she also told us prior completing our self description, she told us that if you want to write down the points on which you have to write your description, you may write. So she told us the points were parents' opinion, teachers' opinion, your self opinion, and what would you like to become. So I wrote down my SD based upon those points, and before going for SSB, while I was in train, I was going through this practical guidebook. So I had quite good
Noted.
so I had quite good understanding of those points, which on those points which I have to include in my SD. And I did not prepare much, but I had understanding that on those points I have to write my SD. And what would you like to become is something that I have always wanted to become. So I wrote down my SD based upon that thing. So on the second day, uh, at 9 a.m., my interview was scheduled, and we were told to report 30 minutes prior to interview, and we reported there. Then one person came and he uh, bring me along with him to the testing area complex. Then we were told to wait there for few minutes. Then it stretched for 1 hour, and while I was waiting with other candidates also, so I had seen that there were many candidates who were trying to prepare more and more before interview. But as Nehru sir always told us that you should be calm, composed, and clear in your mind. So I was not trying, or I did not fall in that trap, so that I prepare more and more. I try to pacify myself. I try to keep myself more calm and composed. So when I enter in the interview room, so he tried to make me feel more relaxed. He tried to make me feel pretty comfortable. So it was my interview started with few questions that how was your journey, and how did you come here, and how where did you stay, or how did you means how did you feel the life of this Gandhinagar. So I answered him honestly that when I uh, uh, went to Gandhinagar, I saw that I went there at night, and I saw that at 1 or 2 a.m. there was a lot of rush at the road also. So I told him honestly that life is very fast at Gandhinagar. So he was completely, I would say, assertive with my uh, replies. Then he started asking questions from CIQ, from my educational backgrounds. Then in my educational backgrounds, I wrote down few questions that he asked. So he asked that what are all the exams that you have cleared, and what are extracurricular activities that you have taken part. So I answered him all those things, all the exams that I have cleared, and uh, I had uh, a 3 year gap from 2020 to 2023. I did not go for masters, and I also asked this same question from Nehru sir also. So he said that. So whatever has happened. You can't do much about it. So you should told him honestly that whatever you did. So at that time I was preparing for other exams, and I was as I belongs to pharma background, so I had little financial sources, so I have to utilize them very efficiently. So I also gave some CUT exams. I cleared them, but the fees of for admission was quite high. At that time, I was not able to take admission. So Nehru sir told me that you should tell him honestly. So I told him honestly whatever I did, and whatever the exam that I have prepared, and whatever I have cleared. Then he asked, because I was preparing for CGL exams and SSC CGL exams. So he asked me that what are the means what would be the designation, and what would be the uh, uh, organization that you would join after after clearing this CGL. So I answered him that's customs, income tax, excise, MOE, so Ministry of External Affairs. Also all these things that I've shared, and I answered him, and I also told him that as a sub inspector, after clearing this CGL, I'll join as a sub inspector. So he uh, found that I have a good knowledge about this. Then he asked question from others second CIQ, which was related to my family. like to whom you are much closer, and if any problem arises, whom you would approach first. So I answered him because I usually work, or in fields I usually work with my brother, so I am very close to him, and uh, he understand me, I understand him. So I told him that if any problem arises, I will first approach to my brother. Uh, then he also told me that still, if something is not something is very serious, your brother cannot also help you. So I told him that as my father died when I was 9. He died in the year 2009. So from then only, me, my mother, and my younger brother, we are working as a farmer, or my mother is a ration dealer. So she has quite good knowledge about this life, and she has experienced a lot of things. So I told him that if there is something serious that me and my brother cannot handle it, then I will definitely approach to my mother, because she has experienced much challenges in her life. She has quite good uh, understanding about life and the challenges and the problems, and how we can tackle those problems also. So he was also satisfied with these answers. Then third CIQ was from my friends. So he asked, "Who are your friends, and what is their name?" So he wrote down all the names that I've shared with him. So he asked question on the basis of like, what advice your friend gave to you, or how did you help your friend, and what is the best quality in your best friend. So all these things he asked, and I was able to answer them. Like he asked me, he specifically asked me that what advice did this Mohit Rana gave to you. He's my very good friend. So I answered him because he belongs to police background. So he is very good at judging strangers. So he's very good at public places. So I told him that in the year, I think it was 2018. So I was traveling from New Delhi to Moradabad, and while I was boarding the train, my phone was pocketed, or it was snatched. Uh, so I told him that. Then after he advised me that I have to become more attentive, or I have to become more uh, uh, vigilant when I am in public space. So these are the things that I have shared with him, and he was pretty satisfied with all those answers. Then he the fourth yes, fourth CIQ was from my uh, uh, in my leisure time, what I do, and with whom I spend my time, and how do I use my internet. So I told him completely truth that I watch some current affairs videos, I follow a world affairs channel and study IQ. So he asked that I know what is world affairs, but I want to ask कि वो जो world affairs में प्रशांत धवन है, वो क्या ऐसी नई बात बताता है, या क्या ऐसी बात बताता है कि सब लोग उसी को फॉलो करते हैं. So I told him that, sir, he has very good knowledge about geopolitics. He share his point of view, and sometimes it becomes quite evident with the upcoming scenarios. Then he asked कि अच्छा ये बताओ कि डिफेंस फोर्सेस के से रिलेटेड वो ऐसी क्या नई इंफॉर्मेशन शेयर करता है, या क्या उसका ऐसा पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू रहता है डिफेंस फोर्सेस से रिलेटेड. So in many videos, he always share his point of view, like India should raise their defense budget by $100 billion. So I told him that his point of view is like that India should uh, raise its defense budget by $100 billion, because he was also following world affairs and Prashant Dhawan, so he was asking all these questions. Then he asked questions from some current affairs, like what is Sudan crisis. Then I told him what is Sudan crisis. Then he asked that how did India retrieve back its citizens or its nationals from Sudan, and what did India do. So I told him that India launched Operation Kaveri. Then he used how did we evacuated them. Then I told him that from the eastern port of Sudan, we uh, bring them by the help of the ship. Then we deport. Then we uh, उनको हमने फिर सऊदी अरेबिया में छोड़ा. Then from Saudi we picked them up by aircraft to India. So I shared him this, and then he know that. So then he understand that I have uh, good knowledge about this also. Then he asked question that कि वो कौन-कौन से एयरक्राफ्ट यूज हुए थे ऑपरेशन कावरी में, एंड उनका ओरिजिनेशन क्या है. So I answered him, sir, C-17 ग्लोब मास्टर. लेकिन जो सेकंड था उसमें I was confused. I thought it was Ilyushin. तो उन्होंने फिर पूछा कि कौन सा उसका ओरिजिनेशन क्या है, तो उसके बारे में I know about it, but I was confused at that time. So I told him, sir, I don't know about this. I am confused right now. I will answer you. तो in the conference. Then फिर भी उन्होंने बोला कि एनी आइडिया, तो फिर मैंने उसके नाम से मिलता जुलता मैंने बोल दिया, सर आई थिंक साउथ कोरिया और जापान, बट इट वाज फ्रॉम रशिया. तो उसमें मैं तो थोड़ा गलत हो गया. देन उन्होंने पूछा कैपिटल ऑफ सूडान. तो कैपिटल ऑफ सूडान मैंने बता दिया कि मतलब उसमें भी मैं थोड़ा सा कंफ्यूज था. वो खार्तूम निकले, लेकिन मैंने उनका एक कोई शहर बता दिया था. उस टाइम पे वो बहुत न्यूज में था. तो फिर उसमें भी मैंने बोल दिया, सर आई एम नॉट वेरी क्लियर अबाउट इट, आई विल आंसर यू इन कॉन्फ्रेंस. देन उन्होंने फिर पूछा, फिर उन्होंने ही आस्क्ड क्वेश्चंस फ्रॉम डिफेंस only, that he asked question like कि what is the equivalent rank of brigadier in Indian Air Force and Indian Navy. So I answered him, sir, Air Commodore and Commodore. Then he asked कि इंडिया के पास कौन कौन से ट्रेनर एयरक्राफ्ट हैं. सो आई आंसर्ड हिम, सर आई आंसर्ड हिम कि पायलट है सूर्य किरण है, और अभी रिसेंटली इंडिया इनॉग्रेटेड STT-40 आल्सो in जोधपुर. देन हम कुछ तेजस ट्रेनर एयरक्राफ्ट भी ऑर्डर कर रखे हैं, बट वो अभी रिसीव नहीं हुए. सो आई आंसर्ड हिम दिस. देन ही आस्क्ड कि how is the rupee performing right now. So I answered him that also. Then he asked question from my, because in my I have done BA. So in my final years I have political science and geography as a main subject. So he asked question, what is El Nino. So I answered him that. Then he asked what is the opposite of El Nino. That I also answered him that. Many times he asked question कि जब वो हॉबीज या वगैरह या कुछ एक्स्ट्रा करिकुलर एक्टिविटीज से पूछते थे कि डू यू कुक और डू यू नो कुकिंग. सो आई टोल्ड हिम दैट आई नो अ लिटिल बिट ऑफ कुकिंग, कि आई कैन मेक पोहा, आई कैन मेक पराठा, बट आई कैन नॉट मेक वेजिटेबल्स और सब्जी. सो ही आस्क्ड व्हाई. तो आई सेड कि सर मेरे को वो आइडिया नहीं है कि कितना मसाला कितना नमक वो पड़ना चाहिए. तो उन्होंने वो फिर भी उन्होंने पूछा कि कभी मम्मी वगैरह बाहर जाती हैं तो कैसे. मैंने सर तब मैंने बोला कि सर मैं मैनेज कर लेता हूँ, कभी पोहा बना लिया, कभी फ्राइड राइस बना लिया, कभी पराठे बना लिए. देन आई स्पेसिफिकली टोल्ड हिम दैट आई कैन मेक अ वेरी गुड गोल रोटी. देन ही लाफ्ड. Then I tried, I was able to make him laugh 2 to 3 times, and my interview was going very smooth. I, I found it quite friendly also. Then he asked any question you want to ask from him. So I told him that definitely if I'm given this opportunity, I will definitely ask this question. And then I asked him that what was your motivation to join defense forces. Then he answered कि उनके ग्रैंडफादर वर्ल्ड वॉर में थे, उसके बाद उनके फादर ने भी इंडियन एयरफोर्स ज्वाइन की थी, बट उनको वो अपॉर्चुनिटी नहीं मिल पाई थी फ्लाइंग करने की. तो फिर मैंने बोला कि सर आपने की, तो उन्होंने बोला कि हाँ. तो मैंने पूछा कि सर हाउ वाज योर एक्सपीरियंस. सो ही सेड इट वाज क्वाइट गुड, इट वाज एक्चुअली वेरी beautiful. So I told him, sir, I would definitely like to experience this also. So he said, sure, you will have it. Then my interview lasted around 40 to 45 minutes, and I, even for a single minute, I did not feel that I am facing any issue or any problem in answering his question. Many questions I have forgotten now, but there were questions that he asked, and I was able to answer them. Then after that, at after that, he asked me that what would you do after going from here? So I told him, sir, first of all, I would clear my doubts, and then after I will play with my friends. So um, I went out and I was quite happy. People asked me, how was your experience? And I told him that it was very good. Then he asked, उन्होंने पूछा कि कुछ ग्रिलिंग वगैरह हुई क्या? सो आई हैड नो नॉलेज अबाउट इट, मेरे को ये नहीं पता था ग्रिलिंग क्या होती है, क्या होता है। मेरे को तो सब कुछ मतलब बहुत अच्छा लगा, सब कुछ काफी स्मूथ गया मेरा तो इंटरव्यू। तो आई टोल्ड देम ऑनेस्टली दैट कि सब कुछ ठीक था, ऐसा कोई मेरे को इशू नहीं आया ग्रिलिंग वगैरह का। तो देन डे 3 उसके बाद तो फिर मैं पूरे दिन खेला। देन डे 3 वाज आल्सो रेस्ट। देन ऑन डे 4 हमारा जीटीओ स्केड्यूल था। जीटीओ स्टार्टेड विद ग्रुप डिस्कशन। so he asked he gave us choice between two topics that that we he gave us opportunity that कोई भी एक टॉपिक उसमें से चूज कर लो। सो वी चोज। तो जो हमारा पहला टॉपिक था, आई थिंक इट वाज कि कभी भी रूरल एरियाज में इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर डेवलपमेंट होता है तो जो रूरल एरिया के लोग हैं काफी ऑफेंड होते हैं और वो उसको अपोज करते हैं। तो इन योर ओपिनियन व्हाट वुड बी द सॉल्यूशन? तो लीड्स वर कंसल्टेशन, कंपनसेशन एंड अवेयरनेस। So I spoke upon compensation. Then in second GTO, in the second group discussion, second topic was कि right now there are many instances of natural calamity which are going to be increasing in future. So in your opinion, what would be the solution? So leads were global international cooperation, technology, and there was one more lead. There was one more lead. I've forgotten now. This then I spoke upon global cooperation. So in discussion only, the GTO sir specifically mentioned कि we are not here to get information from you. We have enough information. कि आप ये जो लोग डिस्कशन में आप ये सब जो मेंशन कर रहे हो G20 और ब्रिक्स और ये सब कि इसका we are here to listen your point of view. What is your point of view? So whatever points I was pitching, it was completely based on my opinion and my ideas कि global, like India has recently launched operation those in which India helped Turkey when Turkey was hit by a devastated earthquake, and in that scenario we can see that there are many countries उनके पास वैसी टेक्नोलॉजी और वैसी इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर नहीं हो सकता, बट विद ग्लोबल कोऑपरेशन we can help and we can mitigate these natural calamities. So I spoke on international cooperation. Then उसके बाद GP हुई. So GP was, I would say it was not very tough. It was I would say normal. So in GP more than 10 minutes were given to us, and I was able to write down my solution in a tabular manner, which is shown in this NFA book, the Practical Guide to Become an Officer. So I was able to write down my solution. I was the first one who wrote down my solution. So then after I started thinking more ideas, see how I can include more ideas in it. So it was the only reason जिससे I was able to pitch forward more and more points in group discussion, and I was nominated to narrate the common group plan. So I narrated my common group plan quite I would say quite fluently, and it was comprehensive as well as it was quite detailed as well. Then lecturate happened, and we were given 4 lectures, and my lectures were first one was it was joint family, second was manual scavenging, third was arts liberalization, and this fourth topic that I don't remember now. So I spoke upon joint family. So because I know that GTO wants to listen our point of view, so I spoke upon joint family and what are the benefits of joint family. So there are a few points that I mentioned right now that there are a few points that I mentioned that time that right now we can see that in nuclear family in a small family we saw that if both the parents are working, they first of all hire some caretaker to take care of their child, and it definitely impact the growth of child also. And there are many instances where that caretaker has not given proper attention to the child. And I think if this would be the scenario in joint family, so there will be a lot of people who would be taking care of that child. And हमारे पास मतलब हमारे मम्मी या ताई जी वगैरह तो बोलते भी हैं कि जॉइंट फैमिली का एक सबसे बड़ा बेनिफिट ये होता था कि टाइम का पता नहीं चलता था कि बच्चे कब बड़े हो जाते थे. So I included those points. And I also told कि joint family में ये फायदा होता है कि resources हमारे पास sufficient हो जाते हैं और हम share भी कर सकते हैं उन resources को. तो हमारे अगर किसी के पास कोई फाइनेंशियल प्रॉब्लम है, मान लीजिए मेरे पेरेंट्स के पास इस समय कोई फाइनेंशियल प्रॉब्लम चल रही है, तो आई कैन आस्क हेल्प फ्रॉम माय अंकल, माय आंट और माय ग्रैंडफादर, ग्रैंडमदर. So I included those points as well. Then we were taken to the PGT area. So we were able to complete three tasks. And first two tasks we were able to clear it quite in a very short period of time. But in the third task, it was, I would say, हम कुछ आइडियाज आ नहीं रहे थे, तो कुछ मैं आइडियाज दे रहा था, कुछ अदर पीपल आइडियाज दे रहे थे, तो उससे करके थोड़ा उसमें ज्यादा टाइम लग गया कि हाउ वी विल इम्प्लीमेंट दैट आइडिया. तो उसमें थोड़ा ज्यादा टाइम लग गया. सो वी वर नॉट एबल टू कंप्लीट फोर्थ PGT. Then we were taken to the half group task area, where we were shown some obstacles. And in half group task, I was the one who gave first idea, and there were other ideas also. So because my ideas was quite simple and quite practical, and it was not using a lot of manpower, and it was also not using a lot of resources. So वो HGT में मैंने आइडिया दिया. So I was the last one to cross over the obstacle. I was also helping my group mates to cross over the obstacle. So they crossed, and उनकी साइड फिर दूसरी साइड से उन्होंने आइडिया लगाया. But the problem was that he was not able to deliver it, or he was not able to narrate his idea, because I understood his idea. So on his place, I narrated his idea to GTO, and then उन्होंने वो आइडिया इम्प्लीमेंट भी नहीं कराया, और फिर उन्होंने बोल दिया कि ओके, I have understood your idea, now you can go. So our HGT was also good, and I would say our tuning in my group was, I would say, was very good. People was very I would say very cooperative. They were also listening others' point of view. They were also letting me, and I was also letting others to implement their ideas. And it was completely visible that we have a quite good synergy between among us. And because of that, we were able to complete a lot of obstacles, and we took a very small time to complete all those obstacles. Then we were taken to group obstacle race. So in group obstacle race, we won the race. And कुछ लोग थे ग्रुप में जो कि मतलब चाहते थे कि मतलब एक तरीके से प्लानिंग ही बनी थी कि आई विल बी द फर्स्ट वन हु विल बी लीडिंग द ग्रुप, एंड I was given the responsibility to be the last person, so that I push forward that line, so that if there is any weak link among us, so he also perform equally. So I perform my duty quite effectively. काफी टाइम ऐसा हुआ कि there was one person who was trying to lift us up, and फिर वो ट्राई कर रहा था नीचे से, तो ही वाज नॉट एबल टू क्लाइंब अप, सो आई हेल्प्ड हिम एंड इट वाज कंप्लीटली अनइंटेंशनल. ऐसा कोई इंटेंशन ही नहीं था दैट आई वांट टू हाईलाइट माई सेल्फ और आई वांट टू मेक माई सेल्फ मोर visible. It's just that I wanted to support my group so that we can win the race, and we won the race. So on day 4, these all activities happened. Then on day 5, we were left with command tasks and individual obstacle tasks and full group tasks. So in command task, I was called many times, 3 to 4 times by my group mates as a helper. And there was one instance also that in command task, the commander did not had any idea. He did not had any idea, and we were given this opportunity also that कि अगर आपके पास कोई idea ना हो, you can ask from helper. So he asked me and I gave him the idea. I was also trying to signal him that we can use this way, or we can implement these helping materials in this way, because he was so involved in his thoughts, or his thoughts, that he was not able to understand that I was signaling him, so that I was trying to help him. So then he asked for the help, and then I gave him idea. In my command task, after interaction with the GTO, I called my helper, and they were also called quite frequently. I would say me and those two people were at the same level, means they were equally performing well, and they were also quite good in this group task. So I called them, and then uh, in my command task for the 5 minutes, I did not had any idea, but suddenly I got an idea, and then I implemented it. Then वो implement कर ही रहा था, तभी GTO सर ने बोला कि how many people can cross over this obstacle. So I said, sir, 2 people can cross. So he said, okay, जिन जिन लोगों को जाना है, you cross the obstacle, and if there is any helping material that you want to carry along with you, you can. So I took all the helping material along with me, and I crossed over the obstacle. I did not left any helping material. Then from other side, I implemented one idea. Then GTO sir said, okay, now this part is yellow, you cannot use helping material there, or you cannot place helping material. Then I implemented second idea. Then he said, उन्होंने तब मेरे को एक पार्ट था, वो छोटा सा, वो येलो पार्ट था, वो मेरे को दिखाई नहीं दे रहा था. तब उन्होंने बोला, और उसका कुछ पेंट भी हट रहा था, वो इट वाज नॉट वेरी विजिबल कि वो येलो कलर हो रखा है उस पे. सो आई वाज ट्राइंग टू टाई rope around it. Then suddenly GTO sir said कि you cannot use this helping material because this part is yellow. Then I tried to implement my other idea by using plank, bully, and rope. And with that, my other helper, who was on the other side of the obstacle, crossed. And जो सेकंड आइडिया मैंने लगाया वो थोड़ा सा रिस्की था, वो गिर भी सकता था, उसको चोट भी लग सकती थी. बट आई मोटिवेटेड हिम, एंड मैंने उसको विश्वास दिखाया कि तुम कर सकते हो, और जस्ट बिलीव इन मी. सो ही आल्सो क्रॉस्ड, एंड फिर वो कमांड टास्क कंप्लीट हो गया विदाउट एनी इंजरी और विदाउट एनी डिफिकल्टी. देन इंडिविजुअल ऑब्स्टिकल टास्क में I was able to complete 6 obstacles, and I started with tiger leap and rope climbing. So I completed those obstacles. उसी दिन मेरी कुछ हेल्थ में दिक्कत आ रही थी, मेरे को थोड़ी सी प्रॉब्लम हो रही थी, एंड GTO ऑल्सो नो अबाउट इट. क्योंकि जब मैं मेडिक के पास गया था तो GTO सर वहीं पे थे, और उन्होंने देख लिया था कि दैट टुडे आई एम नॉट फीलिंग वेल. बट मैंने 6 ऑब्स्टिकल ही किए उस दिन, और इंडिविजुअल ऑब्स्टिकल टास्क में मैं थोड़ा सा था कि मैंने कुछ ज़्यादा खास परफॉर्म नहीं किया. देन इन फुल ग्रुप टास्क the other members were implementing their ideas, but there was a very basic problem in their ideas कि जब वो बल्ली के ऊपर प्लैंक प्लेस कर रहे थे, किसी हेल्पिंग मटेरियल पर बल्ली रख करके और ब्रिज करने के लिए प्लैंक यूज कर रहे थे, दैट वाज वेरी रिस्की. सो आई टोल्ड हिम दैट वी शुड स्विच, we should first place plank, then we should place balli to bridge the gap. So in full group task I gave this idea, and I also helped my group mates to cross over this obstacle, and we were able to complete our FGT in within, I would say, 7 to 8 minutes. We completed our FGT in 7 to 8 minutes. Then because उसी दिन हमको बोल दिया गया था that you have to report for conference as soon as possible. You have to change very quickly, and then you have to report at the testing area for conference. So we reported, we packed our bags, and then we reported there as fast as we can. Then वहाँ पे हमको ब्रीफिंग दी गई कॉन्फ्रेंस से पहले that what we should do during conference. So फिर हमारे ग्रुप का बुलाया गया. Then ग्रुप में मेरे से पहले काफी लोग थे. मुश्किल से मुश्किल 1-1.5 मिनट कॉन्फ्रेंस चल रही थी, और एकदम से बेल बजती थी, कैंडिडेट जाता था, उसके बाद सेकंड बेल बजती थी, दूसरा कैंडिडेट जाता था. सो इट वाज नॉट टेकिंग अ वेरी लॉन्ग टाइम. सो my chest number was 22, and when chest number 21 was called, then his उस जो मुझे बुलाने से पहले टाइम लगा, वो 20 से 25 मिनट का टाइम लगा होगा. So we were discussing among ourselves कि this candidate is going to be recommended because he is taking a lot of time, and his conference is lasting a lot, very long. So then I was called. So there are very basic questions were asked from me in conference, and my conference also lasted for 2 minutes only. Then in conference they asked questions like what is the meaning of your name, and do you have any idea or do you have any values according to your name, because my name is Anmol. So I answered them that the meaning of my name is something which is precious. So they ask, do you have any value or any quality that you have displayed there? So I said, yes sir, I have displayed here very I tried to make myself more valuable to my group, so that my group can perform well, and I tried to make myself more attentive while listening to instructions or while listening to briefing, so that I can perform well, and I can perform quite above than others. तो उन्होंने बोला, और उन्होंने फिर बाद में कहा कि अच्छा, so how did your group find you in your among your group? So I said कि sir, my group find me quite valuable, and they also find me quite resourceful as well. तो फिर पूछा कि अच्छा, how is your group? So my group was very good. In my group, in our group discussion also, there was nothing chaos. There was no fish market. हर किसी को मौका मिल रहा था कि वो अपने जो पॉइंट्स है उनको रख सकें, और हम एग्री भी कर रहे थे सभी के पॉइंट से. तो मेरा और बाकी एरियाज में जब तक गेम्स वगैरह होते थे या और जगह पे कोई ग्रुप एक्टिविटीज हो रही थी, तो हमारी जो कोऑपरेशन है, हमारी सिनर्जी जो हमारे आपस के बीच में थी, वो दिख रही थी, मतलब काफी अच्छी थी. और ग्रुप में कई बार ऐसा होता था कि अदर ग्रुप्स वर आल्सो ट्राइंग टू बी विद अस, कि उनको जैसे हम खुश थे पूरे एसएसबी के टाइम पे, ताकि वो भी हम हमारे साथ रह करके वो भी खुश हो सके. क्योंकि हमारा ऐसा नहीं था कि हम आपस में कोई कंपटीशन रख रहे थे, या कोई आपस में हमारे बीच में कोई ऐसी जेलेसी थी. इट हमारा तो ऐसा था कि ऐसा लग रहा था कि वी नो ईच अदर फ्रॉम फॉर अ वेरी लॉन्ग पीरियड ऑफ टाइम. देन after conference, they asked me how was your stay. So I told him, sir, stay was good. Then he asked me how was the food. तो फिर मैं फूड के ऊपर बोल करके आया था कि सर, ड्यू टू फूड मेरे को थोड़ी प्रॉब्लम आई थी इंडाइजेशन की. तो उन्होंने बोला कि और किसी कैंडिडेट ने तो शिकायत नहीं की. तो फिर मैंने बोला कि सर, आई माइट नॉट हैव डेवलप टेस्ट फॉर दिस फूड. तो वो थोड़ा सा रिप्लाई मेरा थोड़ा सा हो गया था. थोड़ा सा ऑफेंसिव भी हो गया था, बट वो बैलेंस था। तो उसके बाद फिर मेरे को बोला ओके अनमोल यू कैन लीव। देन I left the conference hall. Then we were told to wait there in testing area. Then after briefing, they told us that we found only one candidate suitable. So I was the only one who got recommended in my
Oh,
SSB. Yes, ma'am. So फिर बाद में मेरे को अपने ग्रुप के साथ वो फीलिंग शेयर करने का मौका नहीं मिला। सब मेरे को डॉक्यूमेंटेशन के लिए बुला लिया पहले ही, और फिर बाकी सारे चले गए। तो I was the last one who left the SSB. So this was my experience.
you are the only one in the batch of those who are screened in to get recommended.
Yes, ma'am. I was the only one who got recommended.
Okay. So please tell us something about NFA group activities. Did you participate and how it helped you in group gelling and all?
Ma'am, definitely the practice or the method that NFA has is something very different from other coaching academy, because it helps us to create that kind of scenario around us where a lot of candidates are participating, like उसमें ग्रुप डिस्कशन भी होता था, उसमें फीडबैक भी आते थे, उसमें हम एक दूसरे के पॉइंट से एग्री भी करते थे, और कोई पॉइंट ऐसा होता था जो कि बिल्कुल एब्सेंट है, हम उसमें मतलब उस पर फीडबैक भी दे देते। तो इट वाज लाइक कि everyone around me in the group, they are like my, I would say, the best people around me, कि जो कि सबसे ज्यादा मेरा भला चाहते थे, और मेरे लिए जो भी ट्रू ओपिनियन हो सकता था, जो भी बेस्ट ओपिनियन हो सकता था, उन्होंने दिया। एंड आई वर्कड अपॉन दोज आइडियाज, दोज फीडबैक। इनिशियली क्या होता था कि मेरे जो पॉइंट्स होते थे काफ़ी लॉन्ग होते थे, और काफ़ी टाइम ले लेते, मैं अपना पॉइंट रखने के लिए काफ़ी टाइम ले लेता था। तो मेरे को फीडबैक मिले कि इनको छोटा करो, क्रिस्प करो थोड़ा सा, और अपनी कम्युनिकेशन पर भी काम करो। एंड कमलेश्वर भैया वाज द वन हु ऑलवेज kept us together. He always share his point of view. Manender was the one, and Kunal, Vaishnavi, and Shubham. These are the people. Kunal and Shreyam, he also got recommended. So these were the people who constantly guided me, and they constantly tried to help me. And I am very thankful to them, because of them only that right now, today I am recommended. And it was my first attempt, and NFA definitely helped me to gel with people very easily, because कि मैं किसी भी ग्रुप में जाता था तो हर हर ग्रुप में, स्टार्टिंग में तो हर ग्रुप में नए ही लोग मिलते थे। तो स्टार्टिंग में यही होता था, इंट्रोड्यूस योरसेल्फ एंड व्हाट इज योर, मतलब फ्रेशर हो, रिपीटर हो, और अपने बारे में बताओ। सो आई वाज क्वाइट, आई वुड से फास्ट लर्नर ऑल्सो, कि मेरे को ज़्यादा प्रॉब्लम नहीं हुई, और मेरे अराउंड जितने भी लोग थे, मेरे ग्रुप में जितने भी लोग थे, सब बहुत अच्छे थे। और फिर नेहरू सर के सेशंस होते थे, जो रिकमेंडेड कैंडिडेट्स होते थे उनसे हमें क्वेश्चंस पूछने का मौका मिलता था। दे वर ऑल्सो वेरी हम्बल, वेरी वेरी, आई वुड से वेरी इंफॉर्मेटिव। कुछ उनके फीडबैक होते थे, कुछ उनके आइडियाज होते थे जो उन्होंने अपने जर्नी में इम्प्लीमेंट किए, एंड बिकॉज ऑफ इट दे गॉट रिकमेंडेड। सो इट वाज very, I would say, very helpful, and it was also very, I would say, very friendly. I did not face any pressure in this academy, कि मतलब कोई भी बंदा जाता था, हर संडे एक रिकमेंडेड कैंडिडेट का सेशन हो रहा है, तो आई फील वेरी मोटिवेटेड कि okay, this person has also got recommended, now I will also get recommended. And prior going to SSB, मेरे को कमलेश्वर भैया ने काफी कुछ क्वेश्चंस पूछे थे। सो ही वाज बेसिकली ही वाज प्रिपेयरिंग मी फॉर द इंटरव्यू, एंड हिज क्वेश्चंस definitely helped me. I research upon those questions, and I tried to gather information around on those questions also. And when I informed Kamleshwar Via, he was the, I would say, his feelings were like he got recommended. he was so happy, he was so enthusiastic, and he was sharing his true intentions with me that मेरे को वो बोल रहे थे कि मेरे को सिर्फ इतना डाउट था कि तू स्क्रीन इन हो जाए, बाकी तेरे अंदर है, तू कर लेगा. So group activities, so they were very good, I would say.
How personal interactions and feedback from Colonel Nehru helped you?
The one quality that नेहरू सर has कि एक तो कोच, एक तो अकेडमी का ही नाम है नो फ्रिल्स, तो उसमें कोई ऐसा एब्सर्डनेस है ही नहीं, सब कुछ क्लैरिटी है. और नेहरू सर कभी भी अपना फीडबैक जब भी किसी भी कैंडिडेट के साथ शेयर करते हैं, सो इज प्रीटी क्लियर इन दैट. और वो हमारे लिए भी बेनिफिशियल होता है, क्योंकि वो हमें भी क्लैरिटी लाता है. क्योंकि एसएसबी से जाने से पहले सोसाइटी में बहुत सारे नॉर्म्स होते हैं, प्रेजुडिसेस होती हैं कि एसएसबी में ऐसा होता है, वैसा होता है. सो मेरे लिए तो नेहरू सर की, when I interacted him and I told him that I have full faith in you, and he shared his feedback based on his assessment that I have to. उन्होंने बोला था कि दम है, हो जाएगा, ज़्यादा दिक्कत वाली बात नहीं है. एंड ही सेड कि थोड़ा अपने कोर सब्जेक्ट्स के ऊपर काम करो और इंग्लिश के ऊपर काम करो. So these were the things. I did not interacted much with him because मेरे पास पर जब भी मेरे को दिक्कत आई, मैंने इंटरेक्ट किया सर से. और मेरे को जैसे कि साइकोलॉजी टेस्ट में मेरे को जब मैंने स्टोरीज लिखी थी, तो उनके ऊपर सर का फीडबैक मिला, वो काफ़ी हेल्पफुल रहा. फिर बाद में मैंने ग्रुप में भी डिस्कस किया, ग्रुप ने भी उसके ऊपर आइडियाज़ दिए. सो मेरे अंदर एक स्टोरी से रिलेटेड कि किस तरीके से स्टोरी लिखनी चाहिए, या किस तरीके से वर्ड्स लिखने चाहिए, या एसआरटी वगैरह किस तरीके से करनी चाहिए. सो आई हैड प्रीटी गुड अंडरस्टैंडिंग अबाउट दैट. So Nehru sir definitely helped me, and the basic thing which I was needed was clarity in my mind, in my thoughts, and my action. And by his teachings also by his teaching only, I was able to inculcate that thing in me.
गुड मॉर्निंग, कांग्रेचुलेशंस अनमोल. अच्छा
Thank you,
अनमोल,
sir.
शुरू से बात करते हैं थोड़ी. ये बताइए, आपको नो फ्रिल्स एकेडमी के बारे में पता कैसे चला था?
सर मेरे को काफी पहले से पता था, मेरे को 2017-18 से पता था. और इवन एक इंस्टेंस ऐसा हुआ था कि आई वाज इन दिल्ली, कुछ काम की वजह से मैं दिल्ली में था, और मेरा एक बेस्ट फ्रेंड है, मोहित ही था. तो उसकी सिस्टर इन लॉस की कुछ प्रॉब्लम हुई थी, मेडिकल प्रॉब्लम थी, एंड दे हैव टू कम टू मेरठ. सो ही वाज टोल्ड कि उसको जाना है रात में ही, और उसको उनको रिसीव करना है. सो उन्होंने मेरे से पूछा और मैं उनके साथ गया. मैं गया, तो मेरे पास ये अपॉर्चुनिटी भी थी कि मैं आपसे मिलूं. सो मैं आपके घर पे भी आया था, आपसे मिला भी था, पर आप बिजी थे तो आप ज़्यादा टाइम नहीं दे पाए थे. लेकिन मुझे पता था काफ़ी पहले से, और ये मेरे को पता चला था यूट्यूब से नोफ्रिल्स एकेडमी के बारे में. और मैंने एक आपका सेशन देखा था जहाँ पे कैंडिडेट्स बैठे थे, शायद आपका वो घर ही था, और यू वर सिटिंग एट सम चेयर. वो एक वीडियो मैंने देखी थी सर.
अंडरस्टूड. एंड व्हाट मेड यू डिसाइड इन फेवर ऑफ जॉइनिंग नो फ्रिल्स एकेडमी रादर देन एनी अदर प्लेस?
सर एक इससे पहले मैं एक एंट्री में गया था, टीएस एंट्री थी, उसमें मैं स्क्रीन आउट हो गया था. उससे पहले मैंने एक अकेडमी, एक कोचिंग ही ली थी, तो वो 15 दिन का खूब रगड़ा लगा, बटरिंग लगी, ओवरलैपिंग हुई चीज़ों की, और मैं स्क्रीन आउट हो गया. तो मेरे को लगा कि ये चीज़ बेनिफिशियल नहीं है कि 15 दिन में कोई आपको एकदम से कोई एक नई पर्सनैलिटी गिफ्ट कर दे, ऐसा तो हो नहीं सकता. सो इट इज़ बेटर कि मैं एक ऐसी गाइडेंस को ज्वाइन करूं जो कि लॉन्ग लास्टिंग हो, जो कि मेरे को ग्रेजुअली मेरी कोर पर्सनैलिटी से मेरे को डेवलप करे, मेरी रो पर्सनैलिटी को चेंज ना कर करके मेरी जो कोर पर्सनैलिटी है, जहाँ पे मेरी शॉर्ट कमिंग्स हैं, उन पे काम करके मेरे को डेवलप करे. सो दिस वाज द ओनली रीज़न कि मैंने एनएफए ज्वाइन की. और उससे पहले मैं कुछ यूट्यूब वीडियोस देख चुका था, जिसमें कि मैंने रिकमेंडेड कैंडिडेट्स के कुछ सेशंस को देखा, और उन्होंने अपने फीडबैक शेयर किए. तो मैंने फिर आंख बंद करके ले ली कोचिंग.
तो मोटा मोटा देखा जाए तो क्या बड़े डिफरेंसेस आपने नोट किए, अप्रोच जो ने आपको गाइड किया और जो हमारे से गाइडेंस मिली, उसमें क्या डिफरेंसेस नोट किया?
सर सबसे बड़ा डिफरेंस तो यही है कि जब किसी भी, नहीं नहीं सर, अदर कोचिंग भी है सारी, जो अदर वैसी कोचिंग है जो 15 दिन का कोर्स देते हैं, वो बताते हैं कि हाउ यू शुड एंटर इंटरव्यू एंड हाउ व्हाट शुड बी योर पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू इफ यू सी एनी पिक्चर, यू हैव टू ऑलवेज कंसीव योर रियल हीरो एज योर एज। तो आपने उसमें से स्पेसिफिकली बोल दिया था कि जैसा कैरेक्टर दिखे वैसा ही आपको उसकी ऊपर स्टोरी बनानी है। एक तो सबसे बड़ा सर पीपीटीटी में और किसी भी टेट पिक्चर में ये बहुत बेसिक डिफरेंस था। फिर सर साइकोलॉजी के ऊपर वो कहते हैं कि you should mug up some words or based on you should mug up some sentence based on some words। तो वो फिर वेट में काम करेंगे। फिर एसआरटी में भी सर कुछ चीजें ऐसी होती हैं कि यू शुड नॉट सेव एनी पर्सन हु इज ड्राउनिंग। फिर मैं यहाँ पे आया तो यहाँ पे 2-3 तरीके बचे पता चले मेरे को, जहाँ पे मुझे पता चला कि अच्छा डूबने वाले बंदे को भी बचाया जा सकता है। तो एक तो ये था सर कि यहाँ पे जो बातें होती थी वो काफी प्रैक्टिकल होती थी। यहाँ पे एक तो सबसे बड़ी बात, कोई अगर आपको इन्फॉर्मेशन मिल रही है जो कि प्रैक्टिकल है, तो अगर हमारे साथ भी अगर कोई ऐसी कंडीशन होती है या ऐसी सिचुएशन आती है तो उसको हम भी टैकल कर सकते हैं। वो मगब रट्टा मारना घोटे मारने का कोई फायदा है नहीं कि सिर्फ हम एसएसबी के पर्पज से वो सारे वर्ड्स याद करें। सेकंड थिंग सर, you always told us that we should develop our personality. You never told us you should mug up things. You told us that you should have good understanding about things that you are encountering with. So this was the only thing which will help us to bring clarity about some academic things or about our surroundings and about current issues. So this was the difference, sir. फिर सर एक सबसे बड़ा डिफरेंस ये होता था कि आप 15 दिन की कोचिंग में जाओ, 15-16 हज़ार रुपये दो, उसके बाद फिर आपका कोई नाता नहीं। अगर आप रिकमेंड हो गए आपको बुलाया जाएगा, क्लास में आपका एक लेक्चर दिया जाएगा। बट यहाँ पे सर एक ये चीज़ है कि आपका बॉन्ड बन जाता है आपसे भी, बाकी ग्रुपमेट से भी। तो उसमें क्या फ़ायदा होता है कि अगर हमें आगे भी आपसे बात करने की इच्छा होती है, कोई लाइफ में भी कोई ऐसी प्रॉब्लम आती है जहाँ पे हमें आपकी गाइडेंस की ज़रूरत होगी, तो हम आपसे पूछ सकते हैं, हम अपने ग्रुपमेट से भी हेल्प ले सकते हैं। So this is the best thing in NFE and which makes it different from other.
ओके ओके, बढ़िया बढ़िया। अच्छा, ये बात बताइए, अब जो है आपका इतना बड़ा गैप था, यू नो,
Yes sir.
कि कुछ काम नहीं कर रहे, कुछ फिर चल भी नहीं रहा, इम्तिहानों की तैयारी कर रहे हो। मैं खुद कहता हूँ कि सरकारी इम्तिहान की तैयारी करने वाले लोग को बिल्कुल ठीक नहीं है अप्रोच। तो
Yes sir.
जब ये सारी चीजें आपके साथ थी, और ऑफ कोर्स दोस्त वोस्त बातचीत करने वालों से भी फीडबैक मिले होंगे, तो उसने जो थे आपके दिमाग में कुछ सेल्फ डाउट्स डाले होंगे, उनको आपने कैसे ओवरकम किया और कैसे अपना कॉन्फिडेंस बिल्डअप करके रखा?
Sir, I had this doubt until I have met you. जब मेरा आपसे इंटरेक्शन हो गया था उसके बाद वो क्लियर हो गया था। उसके बाद आपने बोला था कि हाँ ये सही नहीं है कि गैप ज़्यादा लंबा हो, लेकिन उस बीच में हम कुछ अदर चीज़ कोई स्किल सीख सकते थे, कोई कंप्यूटर के बारे में जानकारी ले सकते थे या कुछ और काम कर सकते थे, कोई छोटा मोटा बिजनेस कर सकते थे। और अगर नहीं लिया तो किसी और कॉलेज या किसी वैसे कोई और, जैसे मैंने बीए किया है तो मैं चाहता था कि मेरे पास कोई एक प्रोफेशनल कोर्स हो। और मैं वो 3 साल जो रुका वो इसीलिए रुका कि मैं शायद कोई एमबीए कर लूँ, कोई प्रोफेशनल कोर्स ऐसा कर लूँ ताकि मेरा एक बैकअप तैयार हो जाए। फिर आपने बोला कि वो 3 साल जो वेस्ट किया उसकी जगह अगर आप तुमने एडमिशन भी नहीं लिया तो कुछ चीज़ों पे अलग ऐसी चीज़ें, जैसे कंप्यूटर में आपने बोला कि एक्सेल वगैरह जानते हो या और माइक्रोसॉफ्ट वगैरह ये सब चलाना जानते हो। तो फिर मैंने बोला सर आई हैड वेरी लिटिल नॉलेज अबाउट इट। तो आपने बोला कि अच्छा इसके बारे में थोड़ी जानकारी लो और कुछ ऐसे कोई कोर्स है, कंप्यूटर का कोर्स है, तो उसके बारे में पता करो। फिर सर एक चीज़ और थी, मैंने आपसे पूछा था कि मेरे साथ ही के कुछ दोस्त थे जिन्होंने भी ऐसी ही कोई ग्रेजुएशन की थी, उसके बाद उनको भी लगा कोई एक प्रोफेशनल कोर्स होना चाहिए। तो उन्होंने उन्होंने क्या किया था कि अब ये ऑनलाइन कोर्सेज काफ़ी चालू हो गए, जैसे कि यूडेमी हो गया, मसाई स्कूल हो गया, जो कि एक फ्री कोर्सेज देते हैं और वो एक गारंटी जॉब ऑफर करते हैं। तब मैंने आपसे पूछा था इस बारे में तो आपने बोला था कि अभी इन चक्करों में मत पड़ो, तो मेरा ये डाउट भी क्लियर हो गया था। सो बेसिकली मेरे डाउट ये सब सर आप ही से क्लियर हुए हैं। आपसे मिलने से पहले मेरे पास ये सारे डाउट्स थे और मैंने आपसे पूछे थे।
ओके, वेरी गुड। अब एक बात है ये कि आप फ्रेशर थे,
Yes, sir.
और जो था बहुत लोग ये कहते हैं कि नो फ्रिल्स एकेडमी जो है ये सूटेड है एनडीए वालों के लिए। अब मुझे पता नहीं ये कहाँ से ये कॉन्सेप्ट आया, पर मुझे बताया स्टूडेंट्स ने कि ये जो है बाकी एंट्रीज के लिए तो ठीक नहीं है, और इनके पास जीटीओ टास्क वास्क है नहीं, तो ये भी एक बहुत बड़ी कमजोरी है। तो व्हाट आर योर व्यूज ऑन दीज थिंग्स?
सर मेरा व्यू सर यही है कि देर इज वन कोचिंग अकेडमी विच ऑल्सो टेल देम दैट हाउ वी शुड ईट, उनको कैसे कटलरी यूज करनी चाहिए, हाउ दे शुड ईट फूड बाय द हेल्प ऑफ फोक नाइफ एंड स्पून। वो भी वहाँ पे भी बच्चे जाते हैं, उनके कितने बच्चे रिकमेंड होते हैं। सर एनएफई की सर सबसे बड़ी स्ट्रेंथ ये है कि वो किसी की रो आइडेंटिटी चेंज नहीं करती, वो पर्सनालिटी को डेवलप करने के लिए मोटिवेट करती है। और ये बिल्कुल गलत नोशन है अगर ऐसा है कि वो एनडीए के लिए सूटेड है ये एकेडमी। ये सभी के लिए सूटेड है, इवन कोई कॉर्पोरेट सेक्टर में भी जाना चाहता है एंड इफ ही आल्सो वांट टू डेवलप हिज पर्सनालिटी तो ही शी शुड आल्सो ज्वाइन।
और जीटीओ टास्क ना होने की जो है प्रॉब्लम?
सर वो तो सर ऐसा बल्ली फट्टा ये तो सभी ने देखे हैं। बस ये है कि थोड़ी सी अंडरस्टैंडिंग मिल जाए। वो हम संडे को मनिंदर होस्ट करते ही है सेशन, जिसमें कि वो जीटीओ का एक सेशन कंडक्ट होता है, तो उसमें वो अंडरस्टैंडिंग आ जाती है कि हाउ वी शुड ब्रेज और हाउ वी शुड प्लैंक। तो ऐसा कोई इतना तो सभी को आइडिया होता है सर कि प्लैंक क्या होता है, फट्टा क्या होता है, बल्ली क्या होती है, रस्सी कैसे बांधनी होती है। मेरे लिए तो सर जीटीओ मैं कहूँगा कि इतना कोई इम्पोर्टेंट है नहीं। ये तो हम प्रैक्टिकल लाइफ में भी कोई बकेट लेकर के जा रहा है, पानी भर के लेके जाना है, उसे कैसे जाना है, स्लिपरी ग्राउंड पे कैसे जाना है, ये तो सब प्रैक्टिकल एक्सपीरियंस है सर, प्रैक्टिकल एप्लीकेशन है, वो अपने आप आ जाते हैं। वो बस माइंड में है लोगों के।
ओके अनमोल, आपके पास और अभी अटेम्प्ट हैं? आर यू ड्यू टू अटेंड मोर एसएसबीज?
सर आई बी अभी मैंने सीडीएस नहीं दिया था क्योंकि मेरे पास टाइम नहीं बचा था। दिस टाइम आई एम प्रिपेयरिंग फॉर सीडीएस एज वेल एज एफकेट आल्सो, सो आई विल गिव दोज अटेम्प्ट आल्सो।
फर्स्ट क्लास, ओके। तो ये दीजिएगा। प्लीज कंटिन्यू टू वर्क ऑन योर इंग्लिश
यस
एंड
सर।
योर एकेडमिक्स। बाकी आपका कोई ऐसा इशू नहीं है। थिंग शुड वर्क आउट, रिमेन कॉन्फिडेंट और ये करिए, और हायर मार्क्स लेकर करिए जिससे मेरिट सेरिट का कोई इशू ना रहे, ठीक है ना? एंड ऑल्टरनेटिव करियर उसके लिए भी सिक्योर रखिए। आपने बहुत बढ़िया काम किया है। 1 महीना बहुत कम टाइम होता है, उस हिसाब से बड़ा अच्छा आपने कमिटमेंट दिखाया है। यू हैव शोन वेरी गुड प्रोग्रेस। प्लीज कंटिन्यू प्रोग्रेसिंग फर्दर।
ओके
आई
सर।
एम श्योर फिजिकल में आपको इशू नहीं आएंगे, ट्रेनिंग वगैरह में कोई ऐसे, दैट इज नॉट बी एन इशू। पर ये चीजें आप करते रहिए जिससे कि यू नो कंसिस्टेंट इम्प्रूवमेंट इज देयर एंड यू अटेन हायर लेवल ऑफ कॉम्पिटेंस, ठीक है ना? तो ये करते रहो बेटा। मेरे पास और कोई सवाल नहीं है। बाकी अपने ग्रुप मेंबर से टच में रहिए। कमलेश्वर से तेरे गुरु हैं ही, तो
यस
he
सर।
is your guru number 2 of No Frills Academy. So please remain in touch with him and your group members. It's a very good culture all of you have built up, because No Frills Academy is all about you people. मैं तो एक आदमी हूँ मैं और योगिता, we are just two. Majority तो आप हैं। So you know the way you are running the things, the group activities and all that is I would say 90% responsible for the success which No Frills Academy is getting. तो ये भी एक हमारा डिफरेंट बात है कि इसमें आप ही लोग एक दूसरे को मदद करा के काम कराते हो। तो
यस सर।
that is what it is. Now you are open to questions from others. I have nothing else to ask to say. Congratulations once again.
थैंक यू सर, थैंक यू।